Welcome back, everybody, to the Rhett Sheffield worst undrafted quarterback experiment on Madden 20. I'm sorry I did not get another episode up Sunday. I went back to the previous episode and I just totally forgot that I was going to make an episode for the following day, which would have been Sunday. I apologize for that. I love doing the video goals where if something obscure happens, another episode comes out. Makes it fun. Didn't mean to forget and then not get one out until today, so I'm sorry about that. But we are here again today, and we'll see if we can get closer to completing this challenge now with Sheffield, who has finally experienced some regression, losing 4 points here after Super Bowl week. And we know that the difficulty from here can only get greater. Sheffield's really not going to get better as a player unless we get some sort of lucky development boost and a ton of experience, but I can't see that happening. He's a 76 overall, and we've just got to figure out how to win with this team going into next season. We came very close to the playoffs after a terrible start, and then the trade deadline, we had a big second half comeback, but now we have to look at what this team is missing. This team is certainly better when the running game is elite, and given that Sheffield's really done getting better, we can't go away from having that as our focus. So building this offense around McCaffrey and Melton is still the priority. Hopefully we can do a little more in the passing game next season. We had a pretty unproductive passing game. And then defensively, a lot of young superstar talents. We had 2 players with double-digit sacks. So I think that if we can find a defensive difference maker, that would just be a boost to an already improving defense. But overall, I don't think we have a ton of needs. But we'll see after free agency how things look then. We begin with DJ Moore. I franchise tagged him instead of offering a $100 million contract. And if we sign DJ Moore, we won't have a ton of cap space for other moves. Maybe one more key signing. But here are the players that are hitting free agency now, including Bart Snow. But otherwise, not many starters or key players at all. I know we're not going to bring back Carson Rafano. I should have seen these percentages, but they don't show the stats when you're signing players. And I would like to know what stats players have put up in the past, because this just stayed consistent. I would like to get a deal done with DJ Moore. 3 years is a good, I think, time length. But he is going to test free agency instead. Alright then, we'll see if we can bring him back or if we just go franchise tag again. I think that's what we're going to do. I don't want to risk losing more to another team. And then Bart Snow. I don't think I'm going to sign him. The morale is making him an 82 overall. He is really an 81. And with his skills declining, I think I'd like to look at other options this offseason. That leaves us with around $10 million in cap space, and part of why I didn't sign Bart Snow is because if I want to sign a good kicker, that's probably going to be $3-4 million, and I still have to have some depth on the team. So we're not going to be active in free agency, but it's not a great free agent class to begin with. We did draft Peyton Bost last year, so now I think that it makes a lot of sense to just play him at tackle, taking over for Bart Snow. That leaves our interior with Cal Serra, Tom Wallner, and then, we could play Carson Wasevich or just look for offensive line in the draft. But if we have to play Wasevich, he's a good run blocker. Kind of. His run block power is low, his run block rating is good. That stuff doesn't make a lot of sense to me how it all works. I just know that larger numbers are better. A 4th receiver is definitely going to be something I'd like to address, but it's not a huge priority of mine. I don't think Blair Douglas will start next year, but I think he'll have a role as a second tight end behind Barry Rainey. Defensively, I shouldn't avoid edge rusher. Beckwith had a down 3rd season. Blanton is just a backup caliber player, I believe. So if I have a chance for a really good edge rusher, I think I have to take it. Also should look at corner and linebacker. I think an off-ball linebacker could be a nice addition to the team. Not against playing Callaway, but it's one of our few spots where I think we could find an upgrade early in the draft. I'd like to give an offer to Dom Scantlebury. If we can't address interior the way I would like to, then I want to have a couple options here. And Scantlebury is a really good run blocker, and we should hopefully get this deal done. When it comes to kicker, I think our better options are in the draft. Carson Rafano was the highest rated kicker available in free agency, so now I am targeting Ken McDonald from Alabama. We also made some trades that gave us extra draft capital, so we're picking at 17, which is, not a great spot in the first round. You're away from some of the more elite talent, but you're close enough to trade, which I think is going to be what we decide to do, packaging up maybe a 2 and a 3. But let's take a look at some of these players. Wow. 7.3, 7.4, just don't see me going running back that early. Here's one of the premier players in the class, Vernon Flanagan, a safety with great awareness and zone coverage with 4.4 speed. Wow. The Patriots made an offer here for Scantlebury, so now I've got to bring this up, and that should hopefully get it done. Accepted. Dom Scantlebury joins the team, and a 5th-year option decision for this year on Daniel Monroe, who is a corner. And he's not one of our top 2 corners. I actually do not want to pick up his option this time. I think that with where salaries are at on this team, I need to be selective with these 5th-year options, so we're not picking his up. Wow, Sean Ewing, 6.7 combine, a great top 3. He would be a really good addition to the team if we think we can go tight end early. It's just an option. He's a mid-second round prospect as well, so it's just something to think about. Time to begin the 2028 NFL Draft. Again, we select at 17th overall, and let's take a look at this draft board. I think that a starting interior offensive lineman is basically our top need right now, and luckily for us, that is the strength of this draft class. There are a lot of options here, which obviously makes me not want to trade up until I see the first round unfold a bit. Perhaps there could be a player that's there at 17, but honestly, I'm probably going to trade up anyway, just to ensure we get one of these top players. I think we have 5 players that could step into an immediate starting role. They're all at least first-round talent, so somebody in this 5. There are even some good tackles here. Thurman Bentley, Will Anderson, Jerron Gordon all have a lot of A's here in their top 3. So if you need offensive linemen, this is the class for you. What about off-ball linebacker? Do we try to upgrade over Callaway? Well, it might be possible, but when I scouted this class, I just didn't see a lot of opportunity. I don't know if I would want to address this in the first round, especially when I could get a really good offensive lineman. Unfortunately, the linebacker class was just not that strong. So if we have to stick with Callaway again, I don't think that's a huge problem. He can continue developing. What about corner? We declined the option on Monroe, so we only have him under contract for next year. At cornerback, we might be able to get some value later on and draft somebody to eventually play in the slot or something. Maybe Mark Applewhite, 23 years old, decent. I don't think he has a super intriguing skill set, but he would be a solid player to add. Again, this is kind of one of those spots where you might have to go early. But there is Alfonso Wesley here. I guess I had him up toward the top on the board. I don't normally rank the board, but Wesley would obviously be very good to add. Early first-round talent, yeah, never mind. Wesley needs to be a target. At receiver, I did not find a lot I was interested in, unfortunately. I'd love to make something happen with some of these mid-round picks, and I'm sure I will find some players I'm intrigued with, but I just like a more filled out board for some of these spots. It feels like some of my position targets, I only have 1 or 2 players that I'd be happy with. And then at pass rusher, looks like we have a few options here early on at right end. I would like to address this at some point, but it's all about what can I do after I address interior offensive line. We'll just have to see how the first round unfolds then, and hopefully I have a tough decision for the offensive linemen. I'm hoping they're not going super early. But like I said, I have 5 options. And Seattle starts quarterback at number 1. Then a safety, Vernon Flanagan, goes number 2 to Philly. Tobias Bates, top inside linebacker. Mike Hobbs is off the board. Walter Reese. Tyrone Askew. Basically, just don't want to see offensive linemen go. And now 2 quarterbacks are off the board. Jared Sands is the first guard taken. Of the 4 options remaining, Kenny Bruce is the only one who has early first round talent. The rest are mid first round. And Bruce, with the high strength, the high speed, impact block, run block power, I think he needs to be our target here. Richie Penn is drafted by Detroit. Sean Bracken selected by Jacksonville, another guard. Center is one of the Colts' top needs, so here's the spot I think we have to trade. A deal is done for our earliest 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick to move up 5 spots. And here we're going to make the move, address center. That should help out our offense quite a bit, and I like where things will be once we make this happen. Kenny Bruce is the pick, and he has 77 overall, hidden development. Power is his archetype. He is a good pass protector, but his run blocking is also impressive. So we are over-prepared, I think, on the offensive line for this year with a couple good backups now on the roster. But Bruce will, of course, start day 1. After this, we have 2 2s and 2 3s. I think I should look to trade up immediately. Rajon Wallace, I think he's going to be our target here. He's 22 years old. He's only 28th on the available board, which is good news. Then there's, at the top, Khalil Berry. The only issue with him is that he's 24, and his finesse moves is lower. So he's not quite as good of a prospect. He'd be fine, but certainly we're going to be targeting Wallace here if we can make a move. There's also Sean Ewing, though, and that is very tempting to address tight end. We can sim through a few picks, not too many here. Khalil Berry off the board. Caleb Rose goes to Indy, and that was the pick that we traded to Indianapolis. So if we didn't make the pick, likely they would have addressed center there. Are you kidding me? That is the most valuable trade I can make right now. That is our 2nd round pick and 3rd round pick to move up. And all it would take is a little bit more. So that's the best I can do right now in terms of a trade. So I guess we've got to sim this pick. And they go guard, thankfully. Now we'll sim past our rivals. They go Brian Lewis. So we have a chance now with Denver. Same package of picks, 2 selections later, and we're even less likely here. We're further away. Thurman Bentley off the board, one of the top tackles. There we go, a deal is done with Tennessee. We've given up an extra 2 and 3 to move up here, and we can address pass rusher now. And maybe it's a little early. I mean, there's a draft next year, and we have some talent, but I just think that with the extra picks, this is the best way to utilize them. And we're going to move up here and select Rajon Wallace from Oregon. And he is a 75 overall with hidden development. How about that? 257 pounds, 82 speed, good finesse rusher with arguably better run stopping abilities right off the bat. So a complete player here at the position, and I'm very excited about it. All right, so we don't pick again until late 3. So not much happening now for us. I'm really interested in when the top tight end goes, because I considered if that would have been worth it. I just think that if we hit on pass rusher, it just means so much more to the team than at tight end. Sean Ewing goes to the Bengals here at the top of the 2nd round, and he's a 75 overall. Alfonso Wesley just went to the Pittsburgh Steelers early 3rd round. I tried trading with them. The 3 and the 4 wouldn't have been enough. I don't think adding in another late pick would have gotten it done. So we do miss out on a potential game-changing corner. But good news! There's a draft next year too. By the way, Wesley was early round 1 talent, early 4th projection. He goes early 3. I like to keep track of stuff like that, just so I know in the future when to maybe expect a player to go. All right, here in the 3rd round, then, we're going to make a selection, and here I'd like to address wide receiver. We're going to select JT Beachum, and he is an early 3rd round talent, early 3rd round projection, yet we're here in the middle of the 3rd, or actually, no, we're late 3 with this pick, and he's still there for some reason. Players don't normally fall like that, but excellent speed, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle. His catching won't be awful. He's going to be an addition here for the offense at 68 overall. All right, not bad for this spot in the draft. A lot of speed. I like having a lot of speed for my 4 and 5 receiver spots so that if they make any plays, hopefully they are large chunk plays. And basically, he is a deep threat. And if we stick with that deep threat archetype, I wonder what kind of production he could have with the team. Here in the 4th round, I think it's our chance to address corner, and I'm going to be selecting Travis Arrington. He's already a scheme fit, and he's a mid-5 in terms of talent. He's going to be our pick, 63 overall. Not phenomenal, but 88 speed, pretty good athlete right away. Here in the 6th, we're going to select Morris Edmonds, who is just the best player available. He is also 62 overall. He's a 6'4 safety, and he has 88 speed, 74 pursuit. The hit power isn't great, so he'll be more of a coverage safety, it looks like. With our final pick now, we're going to address kicker, our last move of the offseason, selecting Ken McDonald. He is a 3rd round talent, 66 overall. But I would like to develop a kicker now. He has 89 kick power, 79 kick accuracy. We'll see if he has any struggles. Like a little bit of time developing would be nice, but the free agent options weren't great. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the draft. Got to address a couple spots I thought were a concern early on. We get our offensive line even stronger, so I'm excited about our running game going into next year. So in my trade-up decision, I took a really complete edge rusher. And Sean Ewing, meanwhile, went to Cincinnati, 75 overall, hidden dev tight end, 82 speed, 77 catching. So very good. I think that you could have gone with either player there. I just think that a pass rusher is more valuable. Leroy Callaway remains a starter, and we're going to get a chance to upgrade him right now. He's entering his 3rd season of play. I think the run stopping is what I want to address. I'll just go field general, 74 overall now. And awareness, block shed, that was the low rating. I'm wondering if like you get the multiple boosts here, like 4-to-1 spot if it's a major weakness. That's a +4, and that was a pretty weak rating for him. I've played against them so much in this game, it's time to have Jacoby Brissett on our team as the backup quarterback to Rhett Sheffield. As a backup running back, we're going to sign 33-year-old Leonard Fournette. Here are our preseason stats. We had 3 scores for Brissett, 3 for Rhett Sheffield. The running game shows good averages here, 4.6 for McCaffrey, good to see. And receiving, JT Beachum, the rookie, leads the team in catches and yards. Blair Douglas, though, continues to impress. He had 2 touchdowns. Do you just play Douglas? I mean, he was good last year when given the chance. I don't know. 68 overall is pretty low, but it didn't keep him from producing last year when he was just a 66. 2 interceptions for Daniel Monroe, and now 3 sacks for Rajon Wallace. I forgot to check kicking earlier. McDonald was 6 of 8 in the preseason, and all of his misses, let's see, he missed 1 from short, and missed one from long. So it might be a tough year this season. Hopefully he develops a bit. Hoping to get early impact from Rajon Wallace, now a 76 overall with finesse moves and tackling. And hopefully we get more in the second season from Garrison Lowry, whose rookie year wasn't dominant or anything. And I want to go deep threat. I'd like to make him more of a big play receiver, and hopefully this leads to some big plays. A new season underway, and we take on the defending Super Bowl champions, the Atlanta Falcons, to start things. Can this be a turnaround year for the Panthers to hopefully get us back to the postseason? We start with a win, and a big one in a close game against the Falcons. We get one score from Rhett Sheffield. McCaffrey had 72 yards and fumbled the football. We had a rushing touchdown for Jacoby Brissett. Okay. How about the passing game? Not a ton here at all. A touchdown for Melton. For the defense then, we had 4 sacks as a team. Wallace, Conrad, Haynes, and Jennings. And Monroe had a pick. Breakout chance in week 2 for Daniel Monroe, the player whose option we did not pick up. And if he has a good game here, I'll have wished I did. Eagles signed Orlando Richmond. They signed a 62 overall running back from our practice squad. Okay, I've never seen that happen. We had an injury in week 1 as well. It was to Tony Smart, top corner. That's trouble. 3 weeks. Week 6 bye before the trade deadline. The streak continues. Okay, this is a good start. 38-21. That's a lot of points. 4 touchdowns for Sheffield. Let's go. On the ground, Melton got a touchdown. All right, good day rushing. And Lowry, 66-yard catch, 124 total. That's fantastic. Like the best game of his career. Barry Rainey is starting at tight end. He gets 2 touchdowns. Douglas had 2 catches. All right, that's a really good start for the offense. Daniel Finney had a sack and a half. Brendan Young was there for a half. And Monroe, that's going to do it. He's going to move up to star dev. So we missed out on drafting corner, but we do not miss out on getting more out of Monroe. Wow. And just like that, we can look at signing Monroe perhaps to a deal, but it might be a more expensive one now. Wallace already upgrading again, 77 overall. Good block shed, finesse moves, and the strength. He's going to be a pretty complete player. Kadero Conrad, I think that his skills might plateau here around 82 overall. He's getting closer to regression. We might be able to look at upgrading at some point. It's definitely not urgent. This is good. We begin the season 3-0. I like where this is going. McCaffrey found the end zone this time. We're getting some really good production out of Melton as well. 4.5 a carry for him. The thing too is our running game is off to a pretty good start this year from a yardage standpoint. And you got to remember, like, our offensive line is still pretty young. Wallace and Finney each get a sack. But I mean, we have a rookie starting at center. We have a second-year player at right tackle. So 40% of our line is relatively inexperienced. And on top of that, Calcera, 28, okay, he's going to be hitting regression soon. Tom Wallner, 26, still a couple years away. And then Artavius Short, he has star dev at 27. So this line can still get a lot better. I'm excited about that. Let's do some upgrading here. Kenny Bruce up first. Let's go with Agile. No need to target anything in particular. Just going to go with what's lower. And the same approach here for Bost. But thankfully, there is no major weakness for these young linemen. Doctors have cleared Tony Smart, but we're not going to play him through injury. We're 3-0. Don't need to rush him back. That's a 4-0 start to the season. Wow. We have a team this year, everybody. A pretty good one, too. 146 rushing between McCaffrey and Melton. We're getting a lot of rushing touchdowns, it looks like. McCaffrey had 49 in the air. So again, we don't have this, like, explosive passing game, but we play good defense and run the football. So we're making something happen right now. I love it. DJ Moore is frustrated, but when you're 4-0, you just got to stick with what's working at this point. We're going to get morale up for everybody else. Now, I've thought about it still could be difficult to sign Daniel Monroe to a deal, and thankfully this has looked to be a strong corner class. So just something to keep in mind. We've lost our first game of the year. 4-1 is not a bad start at all, but we lose by 11 to the Broncos. The passing game and running game both struggled, it looks like. Just 9 carries for McCaffrey. And then Melton had 2 for -1 yards. So some struggles there. Let's just rest up here over the bye. At this point, I think we can get that morale boosted quite a bit for this team. Let's see what DJ Moore has to say now. So, he didn't get involved, and now he's upset. Loss of 20 morale. I got Callaway to be a scheme fit now with the run stopper upgrade, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully we keep him a scheme fit. We're not winning with a ton of offense here, 10-7. Well, the defense is surely better this season. We had a couple breakout games offensively to start, but they're definitely not doing much now. Good to see 98 yards from Lowry. I don't think we're going to get a lot of production this year out of DJ Moore. Did I miss him here? 4 for 41. But thankfully our defense is playing at a very high level. Breakout player opportunity for... who do we have? I've never seen this. I don't know. But Garrison Lowry. Okay, he needs to have a career day. And we get to take on a winless team too. So you'd think it'd be the perfect opportunity to make this happen. Not a dominant win, but a win nonetheless. 24-17. 3 scores for Sheffield. Is there a chance they all went to Lowry? McCaffrey had 95 yards. And 2 touchdowns for Rainey. So does not look like we had success with this one. 9 yards. The defense continues to have a pretty good year in terms of pass rush. I think we're going to be toward the top of the league in sacks this year. And then Martinez had an interception. Deep threat again for Garrison Lowry. A lot of ratings going up here with awareness, getting 3, medium route running. Kenny Bruce gets another upgrade. He's at 79. Do we know his development yet? It's a superstar. Whoa. Superstar linemen are very rare. Wow, that's really exciting. So that means he'll have abilities when he gets to 80. Yeah, he's going to be a good one. So what do we have this year for expiring contracts? Again, DJ Moore, 2nd year on the tag. Oliver Ellison having another really good season at the moment. He's coming off, I think, 11 sacks last year. Wait, he has 2.5 right now. Maybe it's just overall our team has a lot, but I'm glad I checked that out. Raheem Jennings will have his deal up. Martinez, Short, Monroe, Melton, Blanton, Beckwith. All right. Probably not going to bring back Beckwith. Obviously, I drafted edge rusher in the 1st round this year, partially because I wasn't sure like if Beckwith is going to, be the long-term starter. He had, a good start, bad 3rd year, so wanted to be prepared there. I think the one deal I'd like to get done right now would be for Alejandro Martinez, who has superstar dev and will obviously be very good for a long time, but we can't get a deal done yet. How about this for a win? 31-0. Chargers had 139 yards of offense. Wow. 8 of 21. That's horrible. I can't believe it. The best defensive performance we've had in the entire series. 108 for McCaffrey. Clemens had a touchdown. That's pretty cool right there to have a defense that can play this well. 3 sacks now for Ellison. That gets him to 5.5. Getting more upgrading here for Blair Douglas. We now have him up to 70 overall, and that's not too bad with a +4 catching boost. His catching was in the 60s when we selected him, and now it's an 80. I want to make a change here for our offense and get DJ Moore some slot catches. I don't think he's producing much, but if he starts getting more opportunity, might help out our passing game a bit. Returning to negotiate with Martinez, and we'll add another $1 million into the total package. And there we go, deal done. 4 years with Alejandro Martinez, and that's the first step here for this season. Sheffield's deal's gonna be up. Oh man. We tie with the defending champs now. 24 apiece. Alright then. 2 scores for Sheffield. 6 sacks on Sheffield. 8 though on Connor Gallagher. Wow, a lot of pass rush in this game. DJ Moore didn't really get a lot of production. McCaffrey seems to be catching the ball a lot this season. And here are the sacks. 2 for Finney, 1.5 for Haynes, Wallace, and Jennings. Lee Swain, 4th defensive tackle, gets 1. All right, so I guess we didn't lose. That's positive. Rajon Wallace gets his upgrade here again, 79 overall. We now know he has star development. Back in the win column now over Minnesota, 27-10. 4 interceptions and 4 sacks for the defense. You have my attention as Moore has his best game in a long time. All right, the picks went to Tony Smart. He had 2. Conrad and Denzel Underwood, our 4th cornerback. 2 sacks for Beckwith. He's still getting a little playing time, but Wallace gets another one, so does Finney. We have a very good chance to win this division now with this win over New Orleans. We have 9 wins on the season. Sheffield did well. 2 scores for McCaffrey. Clemens with a nice day receiving. Same for Barry Rainey. Moore got another touchdown. Yeah, this is one of the best teams we've had in the series by far. It's definitely, I'd say, first or second best. Right there with the team that made it to the Super Bowl. Let's see if we can get a deal done now with Oliver Ellison. I've got to get going here on the contracts a bit better. And Ellison does sign a 2-year deal. Of course, we have to sign our quarterback, Rhett Sheffield. And it's going to be a fairly expensive deal. Definitely not compared to most quarterbacks. I have no idea where this needs to be, but I obviously have to take care of that one. What if we can sign backup tackle Carson Wasevich to a nice 3-year deal here? That would be cool. And we get the deal done. We are just 1 win away from wrapping up the division now as we defeat Kansas City. We hold Mahomes to just 1 touchdown. He got his yardage, but our defense helps get the win once more. Big day for DJ Moore. And not expecting a lot here from the defense, but Rajon Wallace may have a chance at Rookie of the Year the way he's been racking up the production this season. He likes the bonus and the duration, just not the salary. Let's increase this then for Rhett Sheffield up to $27.6 million. And he signs. It's only a 2-year deal though. The 10-win Panthers cannot defeat the 9-win Rams. We didn't score until the 4th quarter, so that's a problem. But overall, we should still be in good shape. We allowed a big day to Todd Gurley. That's disappointing. But it's just our 2nd loss, so I'm not going to get too worried about it. I'm just hoping we can still get that number 1 or number 2 seed. We made the playoffs, though. We're already getting congratulated by the GM, so we've clinched at 10-2-1, and as long as we don't lose out and the Saints don't win out, we'll take the division. The division is ours as we pitch our 2nd shutout of the season against the Arizona Cardinals. 4 scores for Rhett Sheffield, 99 yards for Christian McCaffrey. What a season. Big turnaround this year for our Panthers, and we'll have a chance to accomplish our goal. Rajon Wallace, I don't see how he doesn't get Rookie of the Year with his production. And given I want to figure out our contract situations now, here week 16 and 17, why don't we take a look at our stats? 26-6 for Rhett Sheffield. Not too bad. Christian McCaffrey's already over 1,000 yards. He'll have hopefully 1,200-1,300 by the end of this. for the receiving, DJ Moore is still proving to be very valuable. Clemens is having a nice year. Lowry and Rainey are contributing. How about the sacks allowed? Artavius Short, he's allowed 13. And he's one of those players I have to think about for next year. Brendan Young leads the team in tackles. Rajon Wallace leads in sacks. 8 for Haynes, 7 for Ellison, 7 for Daniel Finney. And some interceptions as well. A lot of them here to go around. And the kicking game has been successful behind Ken McDonald. With all that being said, I would like to sign DJ Moore to a deal. This has gotten closer, though, to $20 million a season. So at that point, do I just say, hey, if the tag's going to be barely over the per year, might as well just tag him and see if regression ever gets worse. Overall, we have a lot of cap space to work with at the moment, and I think I'd like to sign Daniel Monroe to this 3-year deal. I don't think 10 a year is too much, and we're going to have to work on it. Not going to sign Malik Melton. I'm interested in his regression. Maybe bringing him back next year is a possibility, but not signing him to a deal. I don't think we're going to end up signing Beckwith. We obviously have had success replacing him, and I just don't think that we should make that deal. Let's just see if Moore accepts the fair offer. 3 years works, but needs more money. Okay, maybe the tag is the way to go. I thought maybe we'd sign this because next year the cap number would be lower than the 20.8 on the franchise tag, but that might not work. We win again. It took overtime, but we win 16-10. Another good performance from the defense, and we're running the ball well still. Love what our running game has done these last couple of seasons. More than 2, really. But Wallace and Beckwith each recorded a sack in this game. Brendan Young and Willis Sherrod had interceptions. 1 for 2 for McDonald. So at 12-2-1, do we have anything to play for in Week 17? We have the best record in the league, but we did lose to the Rams. So they would own a tiebreaker over us, but we can't tie unless they actually have a tie in Week 17. So we are still playing for the number 1 seed. I should just put the starters in this game. Now the final chance to negotiate. I'll start by trying to sign punter Gordon Thurman to a 3-year deal. That gets done. Our cap space now is right around $30 million here. It counts the 3.3 here when you enter the offer screen, so it's always nice to check by going to a lower salary offer. So with $30 million to work with, that's not enough for everybody. And that means DJ Moore could be 2/3 of that if we tag him. What I think I'm going to do here is probably let it go to free agency, see regression. I think Moore's offer could come down. The tag won't, though, which is the problem. But I think I'm just going to see if we win the Super Bowl first, and then come back to negotiate next time. We lose in Week 17. It was a high-scoring game to Oakland. 5 touchdowns for Gary Sara. Wow. All right, so the defense does not finish strong. A touchdown from McCole Hardman. All right, then. But we had a 12.5 win season. It was very successful. Let's see what's next for us. No wild card game, so we did earn the first round bye. And our first playoff game will be against the Atlanta Falcons, the defending champions. I'm guessing we were the 2 seed. And that's solid. I just like getting that first round bye. And then we'll get into the playoffs next time. And we'll see if we can go all the way. Oh, we were the number 1 seed actually at 12-3-1. Very nice. Rams lost. Cowboys lost. That works for me. In the AFC, the Ravens missed the playoffs, which is great news for us. I did not want to face that team again. I don't know what team I would like to face if we make it to the Super Bowl. Probably not Kansas City, just don't want to play against Patrick Mahomes. So we'll have to see if we can make it there and get this all accomplished next year. But that was a really good season, 12-3-1. Very happy with it. Let's check our stats and wrap it up as we had the number 3 offense and the number 2 defense. This might be our best regular season. 29-8 for Rhett Sheffield here. A very good year, one of his best. McCaffrey, 1265, 7 touchdowns. And in the air, Clemens led the team in receiving again with almost 900 yards. Moore had 845, and Laurie picked up his production. For the blocking, Short allowed 14 sacks, Bost allowed 9. Our interior was really solid. And then for the defense, tackles here, Brendan Young had 121. Double-digit sack season for rookie Rajon Wallace. Was he Rookie of the Year? Made it to the Pro Bowl. We'll have to go check the awards. Interception leader, Kadero Conrad with 3. And the kicking was overall solid from Ken McDonald. Lamar Jackson was the MVP, but the Ravens just missed the playoffs. Coach of the Year, Sean McVay. And that means after a 12-3-1 year, Chris Dale came in 6th. Are you kidding me with that? Awards, Riley Trent, Offensive Player of the Year. Sheffield was 3rd for that award. Are you kidding? Wow. Devin White, Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Joel Aldridge, who was, I think, the number 1 pick. And defensively, Rajon Wallace. Got it done. Great year for him. Any more awards? Not expecting any, but that was fun. We have the playoffs next time with this pretty special team. And we'll go through the games like we have in the past. We'll do a lot of simming, but watch some key drives. And let's see if we can go to the Super Bowl. This team is really good. And I can't wait to see if this is the team that accomplishes our goal. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. And I apologize for not getting this out on Sunday. I'm going to make sure there's an episode tomorrow. So we're going to do the playoff run tomorrow. Potentially achieve the goal of the entire series tomorrow. And we'll see if it happens. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully tomorrow we're celebrating a title. Have a great day.